I'm gonna be honest, I love new hardware releases. The 1080 Ti is a beast of a card, and the Ryzen R7 CPUs are a whole lot better than people give them credit for. But I don't have an expendable income that I can just go out and buy the newest thing. And if you're like me, you're looking for something on a budget, something that performs best for the budget that you have. So rather than going out and buying a bunch of overpriced stuff on Amazon or Newegg, I suggest starting on eBay or Craigslist. But today, we're going to start on something different, and it's called Hardware Swap. Hardware Swap is a great place to find people who are usually looking to sell their parts fast. I've usually found better deals on here than on Craigslist, but the supply obviously isn't as great as something like eBay. It is a great place to pick up almost any type of computer part if you're willing to be patient. That's the key here. Buying parts secondhand will always take you longer, but it will be 100% worth it with how much money you are saving. To start building a PC, I suggest doing some research on YouTube by just searching budget PC. I assume you're already doing this since you have landed on this video. So now let's go to PC Part Picker and make sure whatever parts you want are compatible with each other. Start with your CPU and motherboard. In our case, we went with a G32 58 Pentium and an MSI H81P33. The motherboard supports overclocking for this chip, and buying a Z97 board would inflate our costs and not provide a significant improvement in anything besides overclocking. The CPU I was able to find for a good deal at $40 and the motherboard for $35. For RAM, I suggest finding a speed and size that works for you. This is pretty simple, and most RAM that is in the correct series like DDR3, in our case, will just work. But I do suggest getting at least 8 GB of RAM. I posted on Hardware Swap and got a reply in about 2 minutes, and I only paid $30. The video card is something that you want to think about a lot, because this is what actually runs your games. It may be tempting to buy a newer budget card, but I went with the GTX 950. Most of them are better than the RX 460s, and they are definitely better than any 750 Ti you can find. If you are able, please be patient to try and find one of these. I'm using a leftover one from an old build, but I found this listing for a $70 one. To overclock this CPU, you're going to need to keep it cool. So finding a Hyper 212 Evo or some other cheap air cooler is essential. This one was sold at $20, but I'm using a leftover Arctic Freezer 11i for this build. And this power supply is a 500 watt unit that is also left over, but I did find a cheap listing for it for about $25. Now there are two parts to your PC that I suggest buying new. Those are your hard drives or SSDs and the case. For this unit, I'm using a 1TB drive and a Corsair case that I bought new. Though some people do not see the problem with buying storage used, I do not like the premise because you do not know how hard that drive is written to for and how long. I would rather have a new drive that I know will not fail on me. The case is a different story. Having all the screws and drive sleds and motherboard standoffs, and even included fans is essential for a budget build. You do not want to have to spend money on fans or anything missing that you need to actually build your PC. The grand total for this system built from Hardware Swap parts would be around $340. That is everything you need to build yourself a great little gaming system. If you bought all of these parts new, the total cost would be about $540, saving about $200 from just shopping at Hardware Swap, and you get the exact same performance. So we're going to build this computer in another video. I hope this was useful in you finding the parts that you want to make your budget system out of. This has been Fester, and we're going to see you in the next video.